Youth and children, you guys are welcome here. And now we're going to start our program with a prayer. And we're going to ask Boamala to come and bless the place and start it. So, Boamala, welcome.
Ana balok la kul te jare na wo Italian day a day when you go you but again kachini ali baro na wo when the ki wo to la lam de jinu Sudan ki wo yo lakin ko bu di dum way abini ali ya ke bi ke ko jara lam je na bay Achara ngolero ala balwel na lwel be saka ni kala balwel golo golero anon jam chan ko jam tinon wo lwel la ko ke ko yon wi ai jo ka ke ko yon wi achara ngolero pur jo ake ke aka yedi au pai ke dia ai wu ko payun ke dia now what that do 3 days achan bu dong bu jalatin ke jal ku ja ko ja ko ko jal ko ja ke ne ka ro lu ra jo ka ke ko yo doi na do ale on gole ro Mai time is more than few more than one than few little in Quapiat. Timothy, or the Joy Subia, the John. When I look at the battery, I could go on a little bit of a channel did that feel like you go to the Kidia, a cannon of Magadian, when I got a kilo. A general carrying in a water thing while you want. Who are the ones who be a Calgary queen? They are calling your way, walk your way. What about the way your way? Another level, Haraka, give about Vera here, Topana, Damijana, and more. A good man, Fiona comes out 15, comes out to the Tinson, I can kill him when you go. Mana Haraka, give by a hard one. I had a little again. Woman got a booty, Bouillon. Bukari yale kin kubu ko ñu ne ke take a tan yu ken loy bukari yale kini biya loy all the time a tan yo ma ke yo lu bi wani ma re yo te ke are nam ju ko Sudan for wo ka ja ku li ka ji yale le mu le na ma ko ko ke dia kan ko ne kam ken yale ka ko ne kam ko ku ka belong na abdil DLTA, but yet you're good to Punyali. I have gone to the Yemen, a god one way in Sudan. Gabella doom what you are, and Jal Dunga Manja. Then they can never feel that you are Galba Dunga, Wawa, and we are loyal, keep quiet from the Nuba duty. I think I can Punyali Skinia, Dunyali. What they are going to do, allow it to go in was done what they are. You are little longer. Into Tina and that table or not a kind of yo. At the end, do, who kind of yon do, at the UK. A Cadway, when America got over quite young, letting Japan on the campaign. Are you believe in a minute cool and Yali but on the campo? Ubaki Yakumo. But all the good pion, then the Ubayata went walk without the woman, but when you could have, by a job walk. And you could in a lady, but I took together, I came better than me. And you could get a better in the Yorka. And you could better than you got Sudan, every year do, then I came better than what you had in your pay. ayubu ni mna mi bako gun tidumwe bako jo wonga le pi Mom na jing kuir ka yu bar, ku kaya piondu, ku bawa ga yer pio, ku bawa ka tangi yo me filo ni ye kud, baga job real, ku baga job tu biga ye nya loy, ku joti ye du jota ka wo, ya je ka tang nya le pir, job ke ni tak, bi tam ya ya loy na ta to ban, ne rin ku ni chu ka so ban ni da.
Thank you very much. Now we are gonna sing the national anthem, and Agelako will come and help us with this. But before this, I needed just to have 1 minute silence for those who depart in the name of the freedom and the country. So, 1 minute. Yeah, you can be seated now. So, Gail, welcome. And now we are gonna invite the SPLM chapter, and we have two gentlemen here. One is Mohandas Riangatim and Quil Madud. So, guys, you're welcome. You guys have to decide which one will come first. So.
Thank you, Sister Katong Bray. SPLOA. SPLOA. SPLA Sora Chap. SPLA Sora Chap. Anyway, for those who never met me, I am Riyad Atamanyan. I'm the Secretary General for Calgary chapter. And my boss is seated here, Mr. Kwelage. He is the chairperson of Calgary chapter. In fact, the reason I came first before the chairman, I just want to put a few remarks. When we heard that the women group are going to organize this day, it wasn't a surprise for us in the office, because our women, since day one, they are in the center of the struggle. Therefore, the May 16 is not only owned by SPLA. It is our revolution as a Southern Sudanese, and the other marginalized people of the Sudan. So we in the SPLM chapter, we can't say we own it. Even though we are the elite of this revolution, but we can own it. It is you, people of South Sudan. It is you, also people of the Sudan. You own this revolution. But the most important, in a sad day when we celebrate the May 16, is to remember and then commemorate the whole effort done by all people of the Sudan and people of South Sudan particularly, when they answered the call for the revolution. I just want to make it short. I don't want to prolong because the story is very long. It can take a couple hours before we put it to the end. The most important remark in the history of our struggle as South Sudanese started earlier. But I want to choose two things, two very important days in our struggle. August 16 in 1955, when the South Sudanese rebelled in Torin against the system. In that time, it was a colonial system even. The Sudan wasn't independent that time. It was before the independence of the Sudan. And the second day is May the 16th, 1983. It is a very important day in our modern history, when the political development took the ground and our people decided to answer the call for the liberation of of the Sudan. I just want to let you know, when people read the history, because we have a lot of information, we always condense it in just one segment. But it happened before May 16, in around 1981, 1982. Those who are 60s or above 60s here, they might remember this. In South Sudan, people were talking about the 1972 agreement did not fulfill what we want. And in those days, if you remember, there was a lot of protesting in our main cities, in Malakal, in Wau, in Bor, in Juba itself, I remember. Even though I was a young boy, but I recall all this. And the reason why our people have all this protection against the system of the Sudan at that time is because they were not happy with the attorney government in Juba. And they decided to work secretly in something called underground movement. Those who were there, they become the first elite in the SPLA in May 16, 1993. And this underground movement was working hard secretly, so they cannot be discovered and they cannot be spoiled, and they work hard to gather all the necessary how we can set up the revolution there. And people agree that time, it was in Khartoum, people sat in one of the South Sudanese politician house, and and then the deliberation on that day was they have to have two flanks. One flank is they have to rely on Anyanya 1 forces, Battalion 116, Battalion 105, Battalion 14, Battalion 110, and all this. They have to rely on these forces and then organize them so they can capture Juba. And then the attack was planned to start from Bor to Juba. And when they capture Juba, they will set it up as the nucleus of the revolution in Juba. And then they move to the rest of the Sudan to capture the Sudan. That was the first plan. And by then, when you set up something like this, you have to come up with a backup in case you fail it, so you have to have another option. They have a plan B, which was the beginning of the motion of the revolution of May 16. Because by then, the plan A did not work, because it was discovered, and the day that was set in Khartoum by the underground, was 18 August 1983. They want to put it together like what happened in Tori to be August 18, 1983. So they gave themselves a time to coordinate from Khartoum to cities in the southern Sudan. But when the government discovered it, people left it, and they start rebel. And that was the beginning or the start of the SPLA in May 16 in the town of Bor. And all the elite this time was somebody called Bulat Aliyev and Kabir Pine and Yuan Pine and Salva Kiir, he was in Malakal, and Abdallah Shwal, he came from Khartoum, he joined them in Malakal, and by then Dr. John, who was the one to come and lead the group, was coming to Bor. And that was the short story, even though it is condensed. I just put it because we don't have the time. That was the beginning of the May 16. So the reason I put this, our people, they were for fair. If they were not for fair, they would fail it again in Flanders. But people, they were for fair. If you see the villages, those in the town, the army, the police, everybody moved together and they were united, and that's why they set it up as a successful revolutionary day, May 16. So, fellow Cameroon, I will just stop from there and then call my boss, Kwelake, to come and then continue the rest of our speech. Thank you very much.
Wow. fal kubin ujal kuwin man bigato udambala kan ke wana chole na biwelo awe junu po jeyato benya wi bugijol benya ke wi jiran ki bayria kang pandun dong kubiya sabin awe to wen pan tu wen to wen pan jidu wen to albielewe.
My fellow South Sudanese, community leaders, spiritual and political leaders, members of SPLM and other political parties, our veterans. We are very blessed that you guys are here with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, honestly, I am honored and privileged to stand before you tonight at this beautiful moment. Please allow me to sincerely extend my gratitude to each and every individual who is here tonight attending this incredible and well-organized event to remember one of the most important and remarkable days in the history of our country. The May 16, 1983. Ladies and gentlemen, the occasion of today is one of the best examples of what women can do to make a difference in the society. By the way, women are now rising and becoming agents of change throughout the world. Therefore, the participation of South Sudanese women in public settings, such as in politics, is very essential. Madeleine Albright of National Democratic Institute, NDI, said that women in power can be counted on to raise issues that others overlook, to support ideas that others oppose, and to seek and aim to abuse that others accept. Ladies and gentlemen, this statement is absolutely true. You know, the last time we had the opportunity to celebrate the May 16 was roughly 5 years ago. Right here in Calgary, Alberta. But after the eruption of war in 2013, SPLM as a national political party was badly divided. And so do SPLM members. Since then, it became really very hard for us as SPLM leaders in this city to be able to organize such an event to bring each and every one together, because people were already divided along the tribal lines. However, today, our women, the women of South Sudan, made it possible for all of us to come here tonight to celebrate this historical day. But why do we actually celebrate the May 16? I am not going to take my time to actually cover the whole story of SPLM, but in simple terms, we do celebrate SPLM. We do celebrate the May 16 for a variety of reasons. It is the day when Sudan People Liberation Movement, an army, was founded in 1983 under the leadership of our hero, Dr. John Garang, followed by other heroes and heroines, such as our current President Salva Kiir Mayardit, and many other prominent figures in the country. It is the day when the first bullet was shot in Ayod by Carbino Kwanyimbo. Ladies and gentlemen, the same SPLM, which was founded in 1983, fought the war for more than 21 years to free the people of Sudan from oppression, marginalization, and the brutality of the Islamic regime in Khartoum. The same SPLM-SPLA, which was founded in May 16, 1983, negotiated the Comprehensive Peace Agreement, the CPA, in 2005. The same SPLM, which was formed in May 16, 1983, brought the referendum to the people of South Sudan. It is the same SPLM that made it possible for South Sudanese to vote for their independence and for the country that we call the Republic of South Sudan today. Under our President Salva Kiir Mayardit. My dear brothers and sisters, I want to assure you that although South Sudan is now going through a difficult time, peace and stability will actually prevail in South Sudan. And South Sudan will prosper, for sure. Therefore, I urge all of you to remain hopeful and optimistic, because South Sudan shall very soon become one of the best countries in the world. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, all of you are aware that the revitalized peace agreement will be implemented roughly in 5 months to come. And the development of roads and other infrastructures in the country will soon kick off. These are the good things that we are hoping to take place in a very short time. And therefore, there is no need for us to lose hope. Then, 3 years after the formation of the transitional government of national unity, the country will hold a supervised election of which the citizens will exercise their right to voting to choose who is going to be the next President of the Republic of South Sudan. So these These are very important remarks for each and every one of us to keep in mind. Recently, we've been hearing that there are people who want to launch an uprising against the government in Juba. But we do say that there is no need when the government and the oppositions have already signed the peace agreement and they are on their way to implement the agreement and to form the transitional government of the national unity, so that in another 3 or few years, South Sudan will go for elections. So why can we not be waiting rather than trying to spoil what is already been organized by the South Sudanese and our partners? To end my speech, ladies and gentlemen, I don't really like the fact, as a member of SPLM and as a leader, I don't like the fact that we scattered and divided along the tribal lines. Because SPLM is a revolutionary movement that will always remain in the history. We cannot change the history. So even if you are not happy with the government in Juba, we can still remain the members of SPLM, because the history will always remain. The country will always remain. It is the people that come and go. But the political party will always remain as it is. Therefore, I urge you, my dear brothers and sisters, to remain united. Although there are so many divisions among us, but we need to work very hard toward building peace and unity among us. And I'm here to another, I'm quite quiet, Tong English, and Jam Yakul, Lokai Quandit, by Tetan, they got Jam to one jam. I don't think another can quite cock Tetan, one chain, Tong one jam, I shan't get a Bakatin yard, but band will Tong one jam, be quite cock, keep it in one channel, keep a ping, but band will the tin yard. Are you in Baduela? We're quite keep with you, being one there. Are you in Baduela? King and Chok with Mary Yakul. In Tidian in Sudan, in Chico Bay, holding Yakul, a Krillapai. Yenakan, in Kishon May 16, a Colin Jar or Tumpeni, Rontiam Chocobotka, the one with your bed for the war in Job, Tongan in Sudan, Job and a show. Kayan can put me at a cold call. And you can open the room to open Bugata and one. In the room, we are now calling in May 16, Colin Takotam, Yen Japan in Sudan and Kiababe, and over John Mathin Yakul, another Ovakoi, Lanim by Pandapan Church in Sudan. The way if you to Baga Pure means good bay, where they are, Ujalawe, we're quite a meat. Be near be Chiban, the cannon Kaloi by, I mean, Kaloi by Paden. Couldn't get you away and what you got your chip. Jam did the Chola Barapay, but shall we? Could you win Lloydia? Prepare you loyal, who book bad Baradi, Tongan, who Bapolitan, where I tell you the pay, women as Pialam way. Women as Pialam way. As Pialam women way. SPLM women were here. I later to John Garang Chilwella, Latam in Sudan. Takedi are Martin, a Jubilee. Naya are getting Martin to buy a book down.
Thank you so much, Brother Quill. And now we're going to play a song, but after that we will ask Thomas McCoy, is the GM leader in Edmonton, who is with us today. So we'll ask him after this song to come and say a word. So thank you. You're welcome to stand.
Good evening. SPLOE. SPLM. South Sudan. Women. Thank you. as we are speaking tonight, it's a great night to be here in Calgary, Alberta. I came all the way from Edmonton because of this day. So, when the struggle started, 1983, it was not started by 1,000 people. It was by few. And then the rest followed. So I want to say tonight to South Sudanese in all cities, we must do the celebration each year, not to rely on the people who don't show up, that if we run a hall, it will be nobody will come to celebrate. We tried 3 years ago in Edmonton. We were 34 people at the hall, but we enjoyed it because it's our day. Before I continue, to my knowledge, I would like to make 2 corrections. I do believe when the war started in 1983, it started in Bo under the leadership of Carbino Panyan Bo, and then the month later, it started in Ayut under leadership, the command of the late William Yonbai. Sometimes the word can mix, but it's not a problem. The problem wouldn't be if we deny what happened, then it could be, but nobody denying nothing here. So, that's one thing. If we come to the struggle of South Sudan, when the SPLA started, it was started by the people who can feel the pain of the rest, which is us. They started, and then the rest followed. The war is over, but we have another war, which is we have it right now. The war that we have it right now, I'm not talking about the civil war back home. I'm talking about the war of unity. When we come to the unity, is a war. We must fight that war to end the division and come together as South Sudanese. That one war. The second war will be the war of development. The development need ideas. In this world to succeed, you need an ideas, be supported by the power, be supported by the budget. 3 things. Like Canada, we have a beautiful country called Canada because Canada have these 3 together, working together. The power, working with ideas, and the money follow to join the 3 too. That's why we have a developed country. That we need in South Sudan. And we should not be blaming those who are in charge. The most important, if you sit in the mirror and ask yourself a question as South Sudanese, what happened in our country? Is only South Sudan that fall in this hole? Absolutely no. Any country who is developed today, they started worse than us. But the most important thing, the one I said earlier, when we unite, we can achieve a lot who are on the way we can do. But we are dividing, and we must start that, to fight it. We are dividing even in houses, even between brothers. They are divided. Each want to go in different way. It will not take us anywhere. That kind of attitude, to me, I see them like a flat tire. When you have a vehicle with flat tire, you will not go anywhere. We must stop that and unite. This should be the theme. For the women, it will be no development without women. the women are the power. Women in South Sudan, أنا بقول لكم كلام ثاني. بيقولوا وراء كل رجل قوي امرأة عظيم. أنت الرجل لو بقيت قوي زي شنو وما في مرة وراك, you will never go anywhere. You're going to fall. But if you have a woman who can support you, believe it, you can succeed a lot. So women, in the next generation coming, it's not going to be 25% in power. To my belief, it's going to be 50-50 if we lead the country. And let us start it here. We as South Sudanese communities, Dengue communities, Equatorian communities, all communities of South Sudan, they are not succeeding because they are not united. But women are united. Equatorian, South Sudanese, women, they're all one. And that's what I see in Edmonton. Women try to divide them, but women are not listening. They join together. So keep it here at Calgary too. We are trying our best to unite the people of Edmonton. So we close small communities and we are now having one community. It's still struggling. It's like a baby who learned to start to walk, but it will walk one day. So let us start learning to unite. So the result, Calgary, let it be unite South Sudan community, and let it be led by women. نقطة الأخير في واحد قال دفع أمر from Babylon قال شنو؟ قال لما عملوا leadership that SPLM long ago, they put young girl on the top, and then they put someone behind him. But sure as well, you're fat, you rebel. And then when they put Kir Mayadi, they put another man, vice president. And then again, that vice president rebel again. He said this time, let's put his wife to be vice president. So if they put his wife to be vice president, the woman is not going to run nowhere because she's in the same house. So I wish the next government will have a woman as the first vice president. That is my wish. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brother Thomas McCoy. What he spoke today is like a prophecy, and we have to receive it by faith. What the Architect Thomas well, a kilma gowier, one in a mahan shiru baraha, yan malo, baga kwan, yan I raise. The day before, Miswan waye, Miswan Junub Sudan waye, Miswan Alberta waye. First of all, another happy May 16. First of all, I want to say thank you to this table. The women that are here, they are coming from less village. Not all of them. Thank you. But this is the importance of Kechon Kulu Ihuakan. This is why it's important for us to be together. These women came all the way from Lethbridge. Regardless, you don't see the women in Calgary, but we do appreciate you. This is what Brother Thomas talked about. And we demonstrated here. Today we are here and we are celebrating this. الجماعة البروتوكول في محل بتاعه البروتوكول محفوظ وأنا لسه بقول أسفيا لويه تحية خاصة شو إلا النسوان يا بيعملوا تحية ماما تريسة تحية. Thank you. See? Thank you very much. Today is a very special day. Don't bother Al-Karasi father. Don't bother there's somebody You are expecting to be here, and that person is not here. It's not about that person. It's about you as an individual. وجود بتاعك الليلة في محل ده مهم شديد. وجود بتاعك الليلة في محل ده مهم شديد. الكرسي الفاضي ده خليه فاضي. السنة الجاية وقت زي ده الكرسي ده هيكون مليان. اسمع لي ايه؟ أنا أي حاجة بشيله بيقول. ميكروفون ده أنا بمسكه بيقول. And the reason I took it by force, because I will then introduce to the next speaker. The person that I want to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, is a very special person and very dear to me and to my heart. His name is Uncle Maj. Malaysia, I want you guys to stand up for him. Thank you very much. You might have a seat. Uncle Maya Jamana Namagabaltu, a mission that Amalu, who died in Cuba. John Mike. Yeah, and I think we get a Hawaii. Yeah. I was about to let me get a number and hire a super big was So I was up to the Gua. عشان نقول لكم إنه ده زول مهم شديد في حياة بتاعنا نحن نجون. I do believe he can testify to that because المشوار اللي هو عمله أكون مرة was one of them. عيال الجايين من كيوبا he is their leader. Okay. Akon, I think she has a spirit of rebellion. Sit down. Sit down. I watch him. ويانا جو معاهم من كيوبا. علينا شفناهم هنا في كندا، علينا شفنا الفروت بتاعتهم، الشغل بتاعتهم في العيال الموجودين هنا. We watched them growing as a young men and young women, and we watched them starting their families. علينا شفناهم هنا في كالجاري، علينا شفنا الفروت بتاع الشغل بتاعتهم. وياهو العيال اللي احنا شفناهم من كيوبا. So المشوار اللي هو عمله، أنا ما عايز أقول مشوار بتاع ريد آرمي. لكن it's a legacy يا جماعة. في شغل صغير انت بعمله وبينتهي. لكن الشغل بتاعه بدأوا في كيوبا وجابوا هنا والعيال I think the majority of them they are here in Alberta. I witnessed them getting married. I witnessed them having their own children. I think I'm going to wish them كمان نشوف العيال وبعدين يعرسوهم. Amen. So let us welcome him. Uncle, you are highly welcome. Thank you very much. I do respect you and I salute you.
I don't know whether I speak in Arabic or in English or in Spanish. So I don't know. Yes. I'm not going to go back to the history. لأنكم شفتوا في التلفزيون كل يوم قاعد بقول لكم ملاك عيون بقول لكم and some of you have heard about the history of the movement. I did not join Anyanya 1. I was not there. But when it happened in 80, I was in Juba that time. I had actually gone through all the other places And I think I hear about Elia Duamaro, who was with me in class 1 in 1951. I heard about Buma Twomni, who was in class 1 with me in 1951. And then Wala Lew, they were with me in class 1 in 1951. Doing private school. Madrasa Kamakirlit. And for all our education, myself and Grandmabur were doing private school. He was behind us, he was a small boy at that time. And we went through all Busere and all the other places. And when we went to Mexican school, he was in first year and then he left with Daitut. They were in one class with Daitut. So we remained. And then they went and they also joined the movement, and that time and then they came, they were also part of the agreement. Now he was not satisfied. John Derham was not satisfied. I read a letter from him. He wrote to King Muhammad. King Muhammad was he was a professor in Miami. And he told Akage that I'm going to the front. And if anything happened to me, please continue the struggle. That was in 19, I think it was 1960 something. And so that was, he had not finished. And he was a radical that time when we were in school together. He was a radical. And so he was not satisfied, he did all the other things he did. And then when I was in Juba in 1980, I was Assistant Director of Education in Juba, the Minister of Education. And he came to the office and said, "Jock, how are you?" And I said, "I'm okay." And that time, I had actually was headmaster of Girls Senior Secondary School. I opened in 1976, long time ago. And he said, "Jock, how is education?" I said, "Well, it's better ask those who are who ask the director and the minister, because I'm down here but education is okay." Now, when it happened, things were not actually going on all right. Everybody felt it. Those of us who were officials also felt this. There was no real discrimination. It was discrimination in a certain way, but we lived in the same areas with the northerners. In Wau, in Juba, in Khartoum. And we went to the same classes. But they did not want our progress before the war. And when we went out, I'm not going to start again. That is how it started in Bor on the 16th of May, 1983. That thing has already been said. And now when we went out, the principles of the movement that time, we were in our manifesto. They were liberation, and then after liberation, then we will have the freedom, and then we will have we'll have all the progress, and then unity. Unity was very important, which is now a big problem with us. Unity. We are no longer united, but I only feel that there's only one group that is united, is the students who are in Cuba. Until now, they are still united. They are still united. And you know this world, how it goes. The world is held together the whole system is held together by only three forces. One is love, the other one is harmony, and cooperation. These things are lacking. Love, harmony, and cooperation. You know the world now, when you move in the street, you don't bump into people because you know that is a human being. Then you have to take another route. The cooperate, and then that creates the love. You don't want to offend that person. And then the harmony, part of it we created, but part of it was created by God because the sun did not bump into the earth. Have you ever had sun bump into the earth? The stars do not clash. So many things were harmony. Everything is in its place. Everything has been created, and we have been created that way. That is love, harmony, and cooperation. We have to work together as human beings. We are here just because we are human beings. The cows would be here unless there is someone look after them. Otherwise, they will spread out. But we are always together. And this togetherness is what actually makes brings about the progress. The women, I really congratulate them because mind you, they don't have discrimination. Tribal discrimination mind. And then she makes the best of it, so that she becomes a part of that community. So we have to work very hard. Revolution is a progress, is a process. It doesn't happen in one day. We know that so many things have gone the way we didn't want, but it is a process. Things go on, people are correcting these things on the way. Slowly, we know that some of us have become completely unhappy with the way things are going. And even myself too. But it is a process. This is a process. It takes time for people even to learn certain things. That's why we have to be calm. Like in Khartoum, Omar Bashir, we have to put him in prison. He has done this and no, be calm. If you are not calm, you will never make good decisions. We have to be calm. We have to be calm in order to take good decisions. If we are not calm, we will rush into bad decisions. That is, if you are judgmental, you will never think well. If you are judgmental, you will never think well. You have to be calm. And this calmness is not with us. So the thing is, let us be calm. Now Omar Bashir has done so many good things. Why do then they were throwing the sand into the car. No, be calm. Also think about certain good things he has done. So we are also doing the same thing as Salva Bashir, Salva Kiir has done this and that. If he's taken away today, then somebody will take it and then for him. He has done some of the things. Now we are free. We are free, but we are messing it ourselves. We are messing up the whole thing. And I have done a lot of things, and then thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Uncle. I want to say also thank you. Inshallah, no matter what it was, Yajam in Edmonton, I still going to say thank you to her. We have a sister, a beautiful, beautiful sister. She came from Edmonton, Tim Thomas Macron. I want to say thank you very much. See you, Zalani. Inshallah, who are you still got to salute her. Come on, here. Special thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Also, I'm going to give it to this table, my brothers who came from Edmonton. Also, there are some people from Brooks. And Zemana Butandela de Yom Bitabe 16, Utahia Fasa, and Hina the Dule Shulu this one. Special thank you to the women. We are here because Anazamagutelekun is all did by fire, by power, but special thank you to the Dule in this one. Because as women are the reason that we are here, we're still going to say thank you to them. There is food in the bag, and the food was prepared by Niswan. Niswan from each community, from their own pocket. Let us salute them. Uncle Little Buta Haja, very important, love and harmony and unity. If you don't live, unity is very important. Unity, because of him, because of the unity and the love, he showed them and is going to and still continue filtering through them. Thank you very much. We are going to have some music, and we are left with at least 2 to 3 speakers, and then we are going to enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Alberta. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And we are actually in this hall more than 50%. Why you got I would have been smart comfort living here? Tell you what should have told me. I said, well, I cannot got this one. I do comfort living here. Honest to God, it doesn't work. We have some posters here. May I have your attention, please? Hello. If you didn't get a chance to stop by, please get a time. Ubala call, you know she can leave. Picking down the posters. I know we have a lot of speakers. Some people they spoke, and I do believe the history is very long, and they speak some of the parts of the party and SPLA as okay. But if we talk about the history of the party, or the history of that movement, it's not going to take 6 hours. It's going to take days to refresh our memories. So please don't get offended if you feel there is some part that we skipped. They didn't mean to skip it, but every single person in this movement is very important. Every person who contributes is very important. You may have a seat. Our program is coming to the end. We have only 3 speakers, and we have food is ready. So I'm going to have 2 speakers that are going to come now, and we are going to eat, and then the last speaker is going to conclude the party. The person that who's going to talk now, may I have your attention? Thank you very much. I know we used to the party, we like to dance, but today we are here to celebrate, we are here to listen, to refresh our memories about the movement and about the party when Nasa Dunaduri began. The next speaker is a very dear person to me. She is, I like to call her Mama Teresa, Mama Katie. And I do believe, thank you very much, that's the spirit I love. She is a mother to us. And Ashandula Anichal Mama is a place you earn. I can't wait to put in and then Mama Helena. Okay? Me and call me Mama Helena. But Mama Teresa, she earned it. She earned it with respect. She earned it with loyalty towards this community. She earned it through her children. She earned it through her journey. Every time we have an event, Mama Teresa has been speaking about who she is. Please, I know sometimes we speak, we don't like to listen to people. It's very important. Just take a few minutes. This is how you know the person. And next time when you call her Mama Teresa, you're going to tell Mama Teresa. You're going to tell Mama Teresa. I salute you, Mama Teresa. I remember when we were Congo celebration, Lord, that time she put the uniform. Put her boot, Lord. She marched, but now she has so many surgeries. I do believe she cannot march, but she's marching in the spirit, and she's a very strong woman. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mama Teresa.
tewa yumare ana de ke de mi ya market ana de ke de mi ya market ani tewa mi ya re we jare mi achara ke ya na ke ti mo ale mo le wu ya le mo wu ya le ri ena pipi be ke pinna pa amor ele aliyin payga doman akite wele ye ami aloye kai abu gume na mai ami aloye die abi me da beren aben be ngere ku gum ke daro die bi be ku mu ti de piu ti de mai ara bi e bi mir ti da ka ku mo ra di kito mo na cha ga mo ku ye duai ke mo lalu saya ni jadi kita punya jalan yang nak pun malau jalan yang ada nanti nyali kaya ini biar apa kaya pada anak pionir yang pun anak pionir dicoba kita kedoi kita jalan coba tanu kedoi ini May 16 warnanya bibe yang bibe Sudan kuni bibe ramamba de acan baka loy ramai baka tale kuni bibe Sudan biwo pe ko pa na ban tor ko pa na ban be na da kin kuni ga biyen be ko ti le ko di to ti ate bu ke ga ramai bu ga ya ta ti ke ko di to ki pin ga le aji jar ke kin ke tiere ke ki cham ti om de ni akin ki yu Buka pia tiki yawa ye luwe ramai acan ba ke kata abin nyali abia na to ko we gaya pa we ya we jare dia te ke loy ba ke rir ke ba ke loy wona mi ki run da ke mu ba pi na de ke 16 me ye na loy akin mu ba pi ugi ke ba nyali ye kun tingi ke pi ba ku le ke loy ubi ke loy ke dia ku mati we ke ya ga ro ne ya ga dia Kenyali kabia to get away because Syrian men kejuan junu kita kejuan me junu abuwe ati anu dia joy dia pedai abuwe ati ni kita kalau na ada wakil ni mar ke wedo ke pa kini ene ke kupiet pada kamu ni berdua ke kita nanti kudi na wani ikat kita wani ini acu kati buka acu kaloi wajar ingat mati nyari dia ada nama baik yang gaya history di dia pada dia betul pada dia 2002 kita nanti 1992 yang kaya baik jaban baik kuya lihat naya lagi ni malaka long kaya laka yang ada nanti roki nanti dicari awam yang anak kau kaya jual ngejek ben buku jata wamil kuleri aku min ayo wer tamu wer itu katar wer lo wer nase ayo wi wer aja te ti joy so bad aja te wa ke kwa na lo wi ya lo ni musman kuti jabe te re wona mi aja ni ayo be lo ni pa ti ni ke ben aja ni ke ni nyali ketu yani tangi ra ben ke joy ra ji wa ro ra ji ni area bi ke punya bay aje dia tu ke bi bay neria ke ye chok ye bi ye twai ye kriye ben ye da ke bi bay ke ko ni ku bi na tari pu ye ni ene ali ena ke ko ena ke bay ku ye na ka ji ko ni ye kun ke ko ya ko mala ko le pa ni choi Canada ko wa ya me chenden nhìn vào quốc gia gì, em nhìn vào quốc gia, chẳng về cái này là different world, cái coi cái này đâu, nào là trong cái coi mà lát bật, anh ấy Europe, cái trong cái Denmark, cái trong Dubai, cái mi ở đâu đấy, anh ấy biết cái mặt gì, dùng cái mặt gì, anh ấy biết cái cái bây giờ là anh ấy dùng, cái anh ấy dùng, cái anh ấy tu cái cái no tu cái le Kawunda por mala one when mandi de kaya mandi jong ma ne bi ke pa pe ga di ke kupia koi ko ga ji na khare ke takato a ti ka be jo a ti ka be la Sudan a ti ko ga to we ta ma ne ku ko ga pi el wo ti lo yi pa ke ta be we dia kaya ko we ta ma e ka pe da ni ti ya we ka be ni a ke kan pur da la we dia e ko ru ke ka ki wo yi pursa ru ke ka ki wo yi pursa wo li wo ni man li ko no kuna pursa ki yi ya ro na le pa na ne ke ka ki ku ke ki Ukaya nonto, achangu woya, ayamu ni kita tokari, achen tinggal bernada tinggal woy, kerai, kwachen tinggal bernada tinggal benia kerai, tinggalnya ame tepin, bukannya arut, pakai yang ayam woy ni ara, na ayam punya kupun satu tinggal mana, punya woya, pada dulu pakai aja ada bina macam, ada tu pakai akai, ada pakai, yang sekali, yang dia. Và cái chói chân chụp phiếu tu cũng mắt đây chuyện vậy nó cả còn vì nó cả cái chi đó cái lưu từ lâu với anh chi ra lưu anh vừa nó dùng nghe năng nghe lên là gì à dùng nghe năng nghe lên dùng chúa là thế là thế dùng chúa ấy thì cũng bút cái áo quần là đây cái tiền lên lâu nó cái lên của đi lên mà đó chưa cũng nghe được của cha là được luôn cái này chi ra lưu ya kutinga ra ni ndola fa wo jupil me we dia we jagalo le di yelo jagalo ye kun lo le kun mo gati akuti rundo ba ba mo gati ya ga bayi yo kin 16 May ya ga lo celebration ai we jaga ju ko ko ya ga lo ku ja ka wala ka celebration na 16 May ya ga lo ka ya we ko ku lo da ma para ko ko te There is the root to one, young people. Thank you all for the love. Challenge everything. Rally before by all the time.
Thank you very much, Mama Teresa. And now you guys believe why I call her Mama Teresa. The way she speaks, even if you don't understand her language, I think you will feel the passion, the way she talks, and the history. And as I said, what we are doing today takes 2 to 3 days. It's a long conference, but we are condensing it. The next speaker, and which is going to be like kind of the last one of the day before we end the program, is a good friend of mine. We grew up together. Anina Shunda Kandina Maria Sosa. Anina Yahunda Sosa. Wanina Kabukoleda Sosa. Thank you very much. And we actually use forever. So today he's not going to be only Dufa, but later I'm going to introduce him like a comrade. Here, Brother Mario. We are the privileged generation. And we are the generation that we managed to handle Shahada Sudania. And we got a scholarship to go to study in Egypt. And I know I always offend people by that. I know some people, they went to Libya, went to Lebanon, went to Syria, but there's something special about me and him. You see? You agree, he's so happy, yes. Another people I told you, somebody's going to be offended. So it's not about kind of people, but we were the students who can't finance it, we are the support. Then is one that I thought about. One of them is Taylor. So I was a student. Then I would be the and my best friend, Amungata. So it's not all about us the students, but there were some of us, kind of as a within. Ufinas, they came after. Like that's what was So if I stand here and talk about our journey, it's a privilege and it's an honor to introduce you, my brother and my colleague, Mario Madud Yadufa Walele Tahadiku Shuru Yakare. Tahiyale, the protocol Makusi Makaru.
I'm not just talking on the word SPLA. SPLA. We stopped this for a while because a lot of people are not happy and a lot of them have forgotten and a lot of them have known the meaning. الناس المبردو بمعنى هم امتنعوا أو ما بيعرف معنى أو ما يعرف السبب الأساسي اللي طلع فوق شيء. عشان كده نحن لما نقعد هنا في تمييز. There are those who are dying for the name because the time that this name was spelled out, a lot of people died. Only about the name. It is the good experience. I rukun masira bata shunu more out to push the city. فهذا خطوة بالتحرير بتاعنا. في البداية أنا بشكر الكل. Yeah, this is a very big privilege that you introduced me a lot. Let me go back very little. I am a student at primary school. I started in Tony Elementary, Bombo. And then from there I was transferred to Tony, Model B. I think Uncle Jock Mike knows very well. He said it before. And from there I went to junior high in Tony. And I was expecting to go to the north. لأنه ساعتها أنت لو جبت درجات عالية تمشي شمال ممكن تكون مهندس ممكن تكون أي حاجة. But I was taken to Rubek Senior. So I cried 2 days. أنا قلت لابس أنا زول مسكين ودونيني في محل ومحل صعب. أنا زول إنجليزي أنت عربي. So we went and it took us 3 months translating Michael West, Ramoth Diep, and after 3 months we became white. That had been a Hawaiian. So, ladies and gentlemen, when I was there it was 1981, I'm a Drasi Tamanin, Wahid. And when I was in Rumbek, I was received by a big group And we used to meet in Tip, not Wagoy. Love Wagoy. And I got a of Tip, the issue that I am two. Zamanda Kulama, Talib Zahab, the Sejulism police. So we have a very long plan of what was taking place in South Sudan. And we were being oriented until some of us got killed under the umbrella of Bantu, Alua Jongole, under the umbrella of Port Sudan, where the oil is going to be refined. What am I going to Port Sudan? The same Junubin like us, they shot us somewhere, taken to Kenya, some died. But that is not the issue. The issue is struggle about the land. That is why a lot of people died by that. And then eventually, Karbina Bani Ball came up in Ball, and then William Juan in Ayot, followed by others. To the younger than but nobody knew he was going to be an icon. But he knew what he was doing. Today, as we speak, none of the people I'm talking about is alive. And they perish simply because of me, because of you, because of the land of South Sudan. They did not die because of their families. They did not die because of their tribes. They did not die because they want to be ministers. But one of them was saying, if I'm gone, the rest who are behind me will survive in a happy way, of which you are enjoying it now. Some of you do forget. Because of SPLA, we got chances to come out, all of us. Today, you are saying, SPLA with Ashiru, Yakadel Gulu, Majmum Taharamian, Majmum Ashiru. When you are talking like this, you don't know that some people died because of you. You are enjoying this privilege like that. So, some of us who have survived, it is through God's will. We have been having oppressed in different ways. Tekhelu, 1990, Bashir Kata, Iran, and Minana. Talaba for mosque, Mahafi Masarif. In the 2013, Guinea Mosque, Ugulob Tawafidi. We say 12 people in the room. At Masha, Rama Merube, Wala Mentori, Wala Menwao, Wala Mutual, Wala Kalamfai. All of us are mixed. And our colleagues who are in sciences, Nasa Hosus Kuta Elmi, and the Benedimu Hamza Nadu, Mohandis, Yimshi Amul, Tibarat Kulpa, Asharianga. Because for them, if you're going to do practical, you will fail. We do it because we knew we had a reason. In the summer, begin on the day of the Bukakim, the Muslim, then the Zaman, who will not die. You're good. Finishiru, Hayat. Samatna, the Hadima, Farak. A Jama, Shab in Sudan. Into Shab Mukhtar. عشان انتم مختارين لازم تمروا بطريق ضيق جدا. I'm standing in front of you in salute of those who have perished their life, those who have died because of you, because of me. I totally disagree with people who are trying to betray the country. Totally disagree. And I have to say it. I have to say it. I go into Facebook, Kalayamu, this country, people died already. You are not going to bring them out. Those who have the power, if there is something wrong in administration, let us combine a word and we say, you have wrong here, please step aside and let somebody take over. But you cannot hold a gun against your brother. You cannot. We have been in this Calgary for a long time, and I have been a chairman of the community. A lot of things are happening. My brother, my sister, you will never get a country in a shop. Amshi, Tudukan, Mahadako dollar. Mahadako. You will not. If it ends with us, though it can't be, Kali the Pulna, we are Mr. Kali the Intelligent, we are Mr. A Jama Kwanyin Ball. Muna Sakari Russell Masarim, the young Takwanyin Maluan Home. Wally William One, Wally Alberta, Murkaya Rasulom Bruce. Nobody, but you are getting millions here. Very happy. Today, because they are buried down, you want to turn the country into flame so that there is no land. Why did we fight for it? And Chakal na Chachun. Zora on Facebook, Zora in Kentucky, Kalekun in Kentucky, in Takat Banai, something fruitful. If you suggest something, let us come, put it on the table, people will agree. Yes, it is very difficult to have a country from nowhere. It just came. It is very hard for us to plan it. But collectively, we can do it. We can do it. So, friends who are here, who have friends outside and inside, please play a role so that the unity can come to our country. Today, Mashado Kabir for Wow, Mashado Kabir for Malacca, Mashado Kabir for Juba, Mashado. And then when you are hungry, you can do whatever you want. But not because the government is not there. There is a government. And then for kind of Tadomo Muteta, and then a dollar. Manaka dollar down. Dual Kulu for Babaya, Kitu Nigeria, 4 million to be. Please, please, in favor of these people, this man who have lost his life in the air, let us embrace peace to come to our country. We are the victims. We are, me and Adwal Makir and all of this, because we never reached and we never fell down. And then Allah Mafumus. But thank God, we are still alive. But my dear brothers, my dear sister, if ladies can do something today, and we men cannot do it, they can do it tomorrow. And I applaud ladies. I give you salute. Therefore, I'm ending it. Let us please encourage peace in our country. خلينا نشجع يكون في سلام. كل واحد ممكن ياخذ كفايه بتاعه ويدي الاخر. ولازم يهيبوا بعض. لأن لما نموت في جوبا، نموت في واو، نموت في ملكال، كنا جنوبيين. أنا مش كنا قبائل. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Mario. And as I said, the Dufa guy, the Comrade man, the Comrade Dufa phenomenal. We kind of make 50 look really good. We are not shy that we are old, but then we age like race. Yes, see, he's happy. It's wisdom. It comes with wisdom. So, let us stand just for 1 minute in honor للناس اللي احنا فتحناها before we continue. لو انت في اي اتجاه you know where the flag is in العالم بتاع السودان. Let us face it for a minute. Thank you very much. And as you are standing, yes, let us stand. Let us bless the food. Phyllis one from different communities. Every single community, they were chosen to make a dish. And هم تعبوا امبارح والليلة عشان يعملوا. Let us just bow for a prayer. نشكر ربنا. إلهنا الحبيب يسوع المسيح نحن بنشكرك ونحن بنعظمك ونحن بنمجدك يا رب. نحن بنشكرك من أجل النعمة بتاعتك. نحن بنشكرك يا رب يسوع المسيح من أجل الموية أخواتنا جهزوا لنا. الليلة يا يسوع نحن جايين ونحن بنشكرك وبنقول لك يا يسوع أدي أخواتنا وعيالنا وأمهاتنا في الجنوب اللي ما عندهم. الليلة يا يسوع نحن بنشكرك من أجل البلد بتاعنا الأرض اللي فوق الخيرات وفوق البركات اللي ادينا فوق المويه وادينا فوق السمك في البحر وادينا فوق الطير وادينا كل الحاجات اللي نحن ناكلوها. لكن يا يسوع نحن شغلنا ربنا نسيناك يا ربنا يسوع المسيح وما قادرين نعظمه ونمجدك. لكن الليله يا يسوع ده النهايه ونحن بنشكرك من اجل النعمه بتاعتك. اخواننا واخواتنا في الجنوب اللي ما عندهم نحن بنقول لك يا ربنا يسوع المسيح تحت الارض المباركه هم حيقدروا يزرعوا حيقدروا ياكلوا ومن المويه اللي بيطلع من كل محل الحيوانات اللي فيها حتشبع وهم حيقدروا يعيشوا. انا بقول لك يا ربنا يسوع المسيح بارك كل السحر المبارك وكل زول القدر يكونتربيوت للايمان ده اللي احنا بنشكره زي ما انت جبتهم يا يسوع الليله رجعوا لبيوتهم لحد ما نحن نتقابل again في ماي 16 ونحن نحتفل زي الاحتفال باسم يسوع المسيح ونحن بنقول أبانا الذي في السماوات ليتقدس اسمك ليأتي ملكوتك لتكن مشيئتك كما في السماء كذلك على الأرض. أعطنا خبزنا كفاف يومنا واغفر لنا خطايانا كما نحن نغفر لمن أخطأ إلينا ولا تدخلنا في التجارب ولكن نجنا عن الشرير. آمين. Thank you very much. The food is ready.